I'm joined now by Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren, member of the January 6th committee, which was going to interview Rudy Giuliani today, according to the schedule, and then he backed out. So on that story, please tell us what happened.
Well, as you know, Ari, we don't ordinarily comment on witnesses, but it's my understanding that Mr. Giuliani's lawyers announced this, so I guess I'm not going to avoid discussing it. He had agreed to come in, and without going into the details, agreement was reached on the scope of the questioning. He's obliged to come in, and it's not at all acceptable that he bailed at the last minute.
Yeah, as you mentioned, there's the protocol, and then there's his side talking. He basically, according to his lawyer, Mr. Costello, says Giuliani's, quote, willing to talk about anything that is not privileged. The sticking point was recording the interview, and he asserts that tells me they're more interested in keeping things secret than getting to the so-called truth. Given that they argue this is a sticking point, can you speak to that at all? Are witnesses generally allowed to make their own recordings? Do you take them at their word?
That's just completely bogus, and it's a smokescreen for I don't know what he thinks he's trying to prove. I mean, as you know, the president's own daughter came in, his son came in, his son-in-law came in. Mr. Giuliani had agreed to come in, and we had agreed to the scope of the questioning, and I don't know what he's afraid of. It's not, obviously, the committee has not yet had a chance to meet to discuss this, so I'm not able to tell you what we will do. But I will say that it is not in keeping with his obligation. We all know that Mr. Giuliani is in trouble in terms of the Bar Association, in danger of losing his law license permanently. Maybe it's connected with that. I don't know, but it's not acceptable.
Copy. The committee has talked about holding these public hearings in the summer and June. What can you tell us about the purpose of that? Will there be a written report or reports coming out? What ultimately is the committee going to release to the public, having gathered all this information?
Well, we are, as you've mentioned, the chairman hearings in June, and we will go through what we found to date in public hearings with the evidence that we've compiled, and we hope a coherent story about what happened and what the continuing risk might be. We won't have a written report in June because, honestly, we're still doing interviews and we're still gathering facts, but we've got enough put together to have these hearings and share with the public what we found so far, and it's not a pretty picture. We may have an interim report or final report, we don't know yet, towards the fall, because, as I'm sure you're aware and you've covered, we've dealt with a very litigious group, and we're in court even now with some of these individuals who've resisted subpoenas and the like. So, we're not going to say, well, because it's June, we're not going to get any more information. I mean, we will work up to the last minute and then provide a full report, we hope, when we are through.
I've got about 30 seconds left. I mean, one of the big questions is, was it a rally that got out of control, or was it a coup orchestrated out of the government, out of the White House? Do you think that by the end of the hearings, the answer will be clear to the public?
Yes, and it was obviously not just a rally that got out of control.
All right. Well, we will be watching. Congresswoman Lofgren, thank you.